In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a simple button with Adobe Flash. Later, we'll add some functionality to this button, but for now, let's just focus on creating it. First, let's add a new symbol. Go to Insert and then New Symbol. Alternatively, you can just press Ctrl F8, which is what I'm going to do now. That brings up the Create New Symbol prompt. Here we can name our button, and I'll name it My Button. Next, we need to be sure to set the type to button. We can make a button out of a movie clip, but here we'll just use a button. So click OK. Now we've created a symbol, a button, with the name of My Button, and we have 4 frames here that define the different states of our button. First is the up frame. The up frame is what the button looks like when it's in its default state. This is how it looks when it's not being clicked, actually when the cursor isn't even touching it at all. Next, we have the over frame. This is what the button will display whenever the cursor is in contact with the button. The down frame is what we see when the button is actually being clicked on. The hit frame is a little bit different. You won't ever see the hit frame when viewing your Flash movie. The hit frame simply defines what the clickable area of the button is. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry, I'll show you an example later to explain. So, let's draw a green box in the up frame. Select the rectangle tool, or just press the R key. Change the fill color to green. Hold down the Shift key while drawing the box to constrain its proportions. Select the box and go to the Align tool. Make sure that Align to Stage is checked, and then click Align to Horizontal Center and then Align to Vertical Center. Right-click on the overframe and click Insert Keyframe. For the overframe, I want to highlight the button so you know that it is active. So let's click on the fill color and change it to a darker shade of green. Right-click on the down frame and again click Insert Keyframe. Remember, the down frame is what we see when the user clicks on the button. So let's add a little effect where the button moves down and to the right. Click on the box and press the down arrow 3 times and the right arrow 3 times. Okay, looks good. Okay, so for now, let's go back out to scene 1. Go to your library and drag My Button onto the stage. To test the movie out, click Ctrl Enter. Now, we see our button on the stage, and when we hover over it, it changes to a darker green. When the button is clicked, it drops down and to the right. Okay, pretty nice, but what about the hit frame? Well, to show you what the hit frame does, let me alter this button a bit. What if this button wasn't just a box? What if it was the letter C? Let me set this up so each frame looks the same. This doesn't need to be perfect. As long as you can see what I'm talking about, it'll be fine. Okay, now, when we test the movie out, we can see that it works when the cursor comes in contact with the C. But look what happens when it's inside the C. It's no longer clickable. Sometimes this may be what we're going for, but other times we may want the inner area to be clickable as well. So, let's add a keyframe to the hit frame. Simply draw a box over the entire area you want to be clickable. Remember, this won't be visible to the user, it just defines the clickable area. Test out the movie, and now we can click inside the C, and it still activates the button. So, that's the basics of creating a button and defining the hit frame. In the next video, we'll look at how to add some functionality to our button.